Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. So it's July the 5th. Y'all, I'm late on my budget. Oops, my bad. Well, actually, I was in California the last couple of days of June into the first 3 days of July. And the internet connection out there was just not great. So I was not able to load any videos while I was away. I had planned on loading videos, but I was trying to load one, and it took literally, and I left the computer on all night, and it literally was still only at like 30% uploaded. So after I realized that it was not going to work for me, I just simply decided to wait. I said, when I get home, I'll be able to do everything I need to get done with no problems. And then we did not get back into the airport until I didn't get home until midnight of the 3rd. And then yesterday was the 4th. And so it was a holiday. The banks were closed. I didn't get a chance to go and get my cash out. But I did go today, and I got my cash, and I'm going to get ready to do my envelopes and my budget. But I have been working on the budget. So I was so amazed, guys. You would be amazed at when you look back at things and just look over, how a year has progressed. Because what I realized, somebody had commented on one of my budget videos, and I realized that it was in June of 2016 when I really started to get my channel moving again. I had had the channel for about a year and a half prior to that, but probably in about June of 2016 I put out a budget video. And then in July, I put out another video, and that's really when my channel started to get a little bit more traction and movement. And it's already been a year. Oh my word. It's already been a year. Can you believe it? It's really hard to believe. But anyway, I ramble. Let's get into the nuts and the bolts of this month's budget. So I want to ask you, leave me a comment below if you have already started your July budget, or if you are going to be starting your budget, or maybe you don't get paid until this weekend and then you'll get your budget done. Leave me a comment about how you're coming along on your budget journey. I'm interested to know what people are or aren't doing, or if you have questions, let me know, and I'll be happy to help you as best I can based on how I do my budget, which is the Dave Ramsey zero-based budget plan. Alrighty then. So it's July, right? So I'm a public school teacher, and I do not work in July or August. So what that means is I'm classified as a 10-month employee, which means I get paid in 10 months. So the 11th month, July, the 12th month, August, I don't make a paycheck because I am actually a full-time stay-at-home mom in June and July. Oh, well, July, August, whatever my summer months are, I'm a full-time stay-at-home mom. I get confused. So anyway, in order to make bills for the summer months, I do something called a summer share account. And what that means is my bank will pull out a certain amount of money. I allocate how much I want them to pull out every month that I get paid 10 months of the year. And they will pull out that amount of money and put that amount of money into a separate account that when it's June 30th and July 31st, or the last working day of the month, they will divide the amount and dump in to my checking account, half in June 30th and half July 31st. So I don't make my regular, paycheck because I can't afford to have them pull out that much. So every month I have them pull out of my check, and I say them, that's my bank. They pull out $339, I believe is the right amount. So for 10 months, I have $339 pulled out. So that ends up being like $3,390 or something like that. It's probably a little bit more. I can't remember. It's $393. I have them pull out $393. Let me get that right. $393. And then for 10 months, that's $3,930 that they pull out. And then what they do is it's split into 2 payments. I can get it in 1 payment if I like. I can get it in as many payments as I want during the summer months. But I'm used to being paid once a month, so once a month works for me. And what I do is I take that portion and then I go ahead and do my bills. Now I know that let me go over my budget categories for this month, and then I'm going to give you a little bit of explanation as to how I did this. So on my zero-based budget, this is a Dave Ramsey plan, zero-based budget cash envelope system. I use the same spreadsheet every month. I do the same spreadsheet every month. I've done the same spreadsheet for the last 6 years, every month, faithfully. I have a budget committee meeting of 1, myself, and I do the same budget every month. So here are my categories. I have charitable gifts, I have savings, I have my housing expenses, utilities, food, transportation, clothing, medical, personal, recreation, and debt. Then I also at the last have my income. So my income for the month was $1,965. That's taking my summer share money of $3,930 and dividing it in half, and they dumped into my account $1,965. That's what I have to work with for the month. Now, Dave Ramsey says that your charitable gifts should be between 10 and 15% of your income. Your savings should be between 5 and 10. Your housing between 25 and 35. Utilities between 5 and 10. My food is between 5 and 15. Transportation between 10 and 15. Clothing between 2 and 7%. Medical between 5 and 10%. Personal between 5 and 10%. Recreation between 5 and 10%. And then debt should be between 5 and 10%. So I have received several comments from several people about my charitable contributions. Now, I tithe off of every dime that comes into my home. Every dime. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care what source. It's a gift. It's a surprise. It's child support. It's whatever comes into this house. We tithe 1/10 of that to our church. Because I don't get paid in the months of June and July, or my summer months, I tithe 10% of my entire salary in 10 months. So this month, I don't have anything in my tithe and offering because I've tithed, and a lot of people say, well, that's a lot of money. Why do you tithe that much? My base salary is $46.50, I think. So $46,500 a year. I tithe $4,650 or more in a 10-month period. So there's no pressure for me to have tithe during my summer months because I've already tithed during the 10 months that I actually work. Now, if I get monies in outside of my summer share, and the reason I don't tithe off a summer share is because that money is pulled out of my regular paycheck every month, but I've already tithed off of my gross income for that month in my tithing. I hope that makes sense. If that doesn't make sense, just leave me a comment and I'll explain it a little bit more. But what I'm saying is that summer share is almost like a bill, and so that bill comes out, but I've already tithed off of my gross amount before anything else happens for the month. So that's why I don't have tithes for the month of June. Anything I give in June and July would be considered an offering. So that might be, maybe I got a side hustle going. Of course, I'm going to tithe off of the side hustle, but if I give over that, then that'll be an offering. So I go ahead and make sure that my financial secretary at the church knows that it's my summer months. She used to work in the school system as well, so she understands that 10-month employee. But I like to be right. I like to make sure, because I am in leadership at my church, and I want to make sure that I am right with the Lord. Before I'm right with people, I want to make sure I'm right with the Lord. But anyway, so that's why you will not hear any tithing in this month. And hopefully, some people will feel a little better thinking or knowing that we are still taken care of. And I believe because we do make that effort to go ahead and tithe off of our 10-month salary in 10 months and not try to spread it out and try to figure out where it's coming from in June and July, then I've already taken care of that share. I'm good. Me and the Lord are good. But my kids and I are able to really still be okay. We are starting this month in the black. In the red a little bit. We are about $650 in the hole, but that's okay. We're going to work ourselves out of the hole just by the nature of how things go. So let me take you through this. So there is no tithe and offering for this month. I do partner with a separate ministry, and I partner $30 a month with that ministry. I will pay that today because of the holiday and everything. I didn't do it yesterday. So I will pay that today. I am not putting any money in savings this month. No emergency fund. My emergency fund is fully funded at $1,000. I have a little more than $1,000 in that emergency fund, but I have had to pull some funds out. I went to California and I needed to have some money and some other things. For my mortgage, okay, this is always good for me. My mortgage is $874.02, and I paid that yesterday. But I have been paying for the last 2 months, and this is month number 3, that I'm paying an extra $25.98. So I paid a total of mortgage of $900. Before I moved into this home, I used to live in a 3-bedroom apartment, and my 3-bedroom apartment was $949 a month. So technically, I'm used to paying $949 a month. And bumping down to $874 actually gave me about $100. Well, it gave me about $70 extra to play with for the month, which was helpful. But I'm used to $949, so I'm trying to work my way back up to paying that $949. That way, I'm putting extra towards the principal. And I just made a $25.98 extra principal payment. So I paid my regular mortgage. I made an extra principal payment. And when I go in, I do it online. They have a separate line item for extra principal payment, and it calculates towards the principal. So it doesn't seem like a lot to anybody, but to me, that I can do over and above my $874, I'll take it. The lawn guy's coming today. He texted me this morning. He's going to cut my grass. I do $50 for the lawn guy. He mows my grass twice a month at $25 a piece per time. So I have his $50. Insurance for my iPhone is $7.99. People have asked me before, why do you have insurance for your iPhone? I don't know. I've always had insurance for my iPhone. I just feel better having insurance for my iPhone. It's only $7.99. That's one trip that you don't go to the drive-thru, and we're good. Not that I go to the drive-thru anyway, but my utility bill was a little bit higher this month than last month. Last month, I think I was somewhere in the $60 to $70 category. It was $94.17 this month. It probably has been a little bit more warm, and so we ran the air conditioner a little bit more, and so that was we had to just make an adjustment for the extra 30 some odd dollars. My cell phone bill is $106. I haven't paid that yet. It comes due on the 12th. My cable bill is $69.22. That is due. It comes due the 28th day of the month, which it was due in June, but I was out of town, so I didn't pay it. I like to be where I live, knowing my networks are secure when I'm paying bills and stuff like that. So I will pay that bill today. $69.22, and that's just really for my internet. I don't know why I keep calling it cable, because we don't have cable TV. I just have internet, and we have internet phone. So that is for that. My water bill. What's wrong, Mama? It's okay. You're okay. My water bill for the month was really good, $65.64, not much off from what it was last month, and I was good with that. One of the biggest areas that we struggle in we don't struggle in that. Let me fix that. One of the biggest areas I struggle in my head is my grocery budget. And you all, if you've been following me for any length of time, I think last summer we had to do $25 a week for groceries. And that was hard. It was hard to do $25. But it was all I had. We ran into a few snags with child support. That was not coming through. And so it was just tough to make it through. But I'm always trying to make sure my kids have plenty, and I think that they do. But we're home for the summer. I'm home, the kids are home, so we're snacking throughout the day, or we're going to a friend's and we take snacks over there or whatever. So I'm always wanting to make sure I have enough. And then we're trying to do Weight Watchers. I want to make sure that I have enough of the right foods. So I usually go between 160 and 200. If I get a little extra, I'll do 250 for groceries for the month. This month, I'm sticking to $200. That means I'm doing $50 a week for 4 weeks. Now, I say that with the knowledge that I have a work week coming up towards the end of the month where I will be working out of town, and I don't have to do a grocery shop here. But normally I will shop and take food with me, so I don't have to eat out and incur those eating expenses. I can eat in my off time. I actually do work. I probably put in 70 to 80 hours that one specific week doing what I do. I'm the recording secretary for a state association, and I have to go off a couple times a year for meetings, and we have some big meetings coming up. And so normally what I'll do is I'll just work. I work, and I forget to eat or whatever. But if I take my $50 grocery budget, then I usually stop at Walmart or the grocery store, and I'll just get some things I can do for breakfast items. I'll get meat and cheese and bread, and I'll just make a sandwich in my room and take it over with me to the office, and I'll have that to go and eat, but I won't do groceries at the house. So I'm still allocating $50 per week for that particular week. The kids and I actually are going to be doing a little bit of traveling. We're going to DC for a few days. So if we're doing that and we're not here and I don't have to have grocery money here, then I'll take my $50. I'll buy a few things that we can take in our car, and then as we go on the road, we will have food in our car, and we won't have to stop and do fast food and stuff like that. I normally do not stop. I get gas, we stretch our legs, we go to the restroom, and let's go. So we pack snack bags in the car with us, drinks, water bottles, whatever we need. So I'll take that $50 for that particular week, and I'll make sure we have everything we need for our trip. So I've got $50 allocated for the next 4 weeks for groceries. I do not have any fast food or restaurant money. For gas this month, I am allocating $104.97. That's $24 for 4 weeks. That's not right. I didn't calculate that right. Something about what I didn't calculate over here doesn't work, but it's $104.97. Divide that by 4. That's going to give me $26 and some change. $26 and some change for 4 weeks each week. I'm going to make that adjustment on my sheet because I messed that up. Okay. I do need to get my oil changed, and right now I have no funds allocated to get my oil changed, but before I leave to go to DC or before I go to my work week, I do have to have the oil change. That normally costs me about $35, but I didn't have $35 in my budget this time, so I'm hopeful that some monies will come in, or I'll just pull it out of my emergency fund because I have to have my oil change and it'll be okay. I do struggle with pulling money out of my emergency fund for specific things. I like to have that fund in there just to make sure that we have what we need if there's an emergency. I have no clothing expenses for this month. We did a big dollar shop last month. We had a little bit of extra and we did a dollar shop at the clearance rack. So we're set for the month. Anything I don't have is just going to be okay. I've got a couple suits for my work trip. I have one pair of shorts. I bought one pair of shorts. And I got my yoga pants, and I got a couple skirts that I like to wear around here. So I'm good. The kids are set. I got Jackson a pair of flip-flops. I got sister a pair of sandals because her foot has grown. So we are good on that. So no clothing budget for this month. Medical. I didn't have anything set aside for medical. But what I realized as I was going through my budget sheet and my planner. And a lot of times you need to have both of those going at the same time, because you have appointments and then you realize, oh, I need this for this appointment or that for this appointment. What I didn't put in was Jackson has an allergist appointment. He has been struggling for the last 2 months or more with just this. I mean, everything in here is either swollen, is congested, he's sneezing. I mean, I don't even know where the mucus is coming from, but he is so full. So his pediatrician suggested or recommended that we go back to allergist and have him tested again. He was tested for allergies 2 years ago. He tested for ragweed and pollen and different outside stuff. We're not sure if it's the dog now that's causing the allergy flare, but we had the dog before the flare came, so we're not sure what's going on. But he is having a severe allergy something. So I've got to take him tomorrow, and that's going to cost me $85, and I didn't allocate for that in there anywhere. So I'm going to tell you how I'm going to allocate for that tomorrow, because right now I don't have $85 to take him to the allergist, but I'm going to figure it all out. It all works out in the end, trust me. All right, Healthways, which is my gym membership that goes through my health insurance, is $25. That has not come out yet. That doesn't come out till like the 3rd week of the month. And then Miss Grace, for her, she has to have food and a bath. She has to have a bath. I took out $75 for her. I have no miscellaneous or household supplies this month. For Taekwondo, now a lot of people may not understand Taekwondo. For 3 of us to take Taekwondo, well, actually for the kids, it's $300 for 2 kids. For one mom, since I don't go very often, but you get a discount when you add in the 3rd, I pay $25 a month for my Taekwondo. But it's the only activity that my kids do. They don't do ball. They don't do Little League. They don't do Girl Scouts, gymnastics, nothing. They do Taekwondo. That's it. And the only reason is because that's all I can get them to. I can't be over here and then over here and over here. I tried that for a couple of years and I was running raggedy. I mean, I would literally drop one kid off, run across town to take another kid. And when I dropped that kid off, I had to run back over here and pick up this kid and then go back and pick. And it was just too much on my body and I couldn't do it. And so we just decided, we made a conscious decision last summer. We were finishing up homeschool and Alana was a dancer. She did not want to do anything else but dance. And we were finishing up homeschool and they had 2 days left of Taekwondo camp. And I asked the master, I said, is it okay if I can just pay for her for these 2 days? Because she didn't have anything else to do. Jackson was all gung-ho and, you know, he was in there. He had been doing it for a year by then. And he said, no, don't worry about it. Let her just come. I'll take, you know, don't pay me anything. So she went for 2 days for free and loved it. And we just decided this was going to be their activity. And she really wanted to dance, and she probably still does. And I know that's in her heart of hearts. But right now, it doesn't fit in our schedule. So I make the sacrifice that they would take Taekwondo. And then they actually are what's called special teams, which means they're like a competition team. So both of them, and then their friends. And we all go and travel. So for that, it's worth it to me. It's worth it. That's their PE for the year for homeschool. They can go 5 days a week. We go 4 days because we save Mondays for a homeschool day. But they go 4 days a week and they can be there from an hour to 3 to 4 hours, just depending on how many classes they take per time. So that's for that. PureFlix, we like that instead of Netflix. It's a little more family friendly. So that's $7.99. And then my son allows us to use his Netflix account. And we don't really use that much now that we have the PureFlix, because that's a little more family friendly. And I'm just comfortable with that. Back to Taekwondo. So in July, they always have a camp. It's the only camp they go to. And it's $200 per kid. So it's $400 for Taekwondo camp. And right now I don't have Taekwondo camp money. And it is due, well, it was due the 1st, but he's giving me a few extra days. They go Monday, and I spoke with Dad to make sure that he was going to be able to send the money for the camp, and he said he was, but I'm figuring with the holiday that we've just had an issue with things getting posted on time. So I did check with him when I was in California, just to make sure, because I didn't want them not to go to their camp. If I had to, I was going to pull the money out of my savings account and just put it back. But I'm trying to leave that as a last resource, a last resort. If I don't get it by Friday, then I'll go ahead and transfer the funds, and then when he sends the money, I'll transfer the funds back into the savings account. But and he always tries to do the best he can, so that's fine as well. And then when we were out in Hollywood, when we were out in California, the two parents and then the kids that were with us wanted to do a Hollywood tour. We did the greater LA area, Beverly Hills, Hollywood, Rodeo Drive. We went down to Venice Beach, and that was $65, and I had to pay for that. And so I didn't plan for that because I had not any plans to do any tours, but they were like, hey, and of course teacher chaperone has to go. So that was $65, and then my student loan is $60. So my total summer share deposit, and I'll show you this, is $1,965. And I am over. If you're using my budget sheet and you have parentheses here, that means you're over. I am over by $650. And the reason I'm over is because I went ahead and put in categories that I am expecting monies to come in. So let me tell you what has not gone out. My phone bill has not been paid because that's not due until the 12th. So that's $106. The cable bill has not gone out. That's $69 or so, $70. So $176. The allergist has not gone out. So that's that's $350. The taekwondo has not gone out, which is $400. So that's $750. So $750 has not been paid out yet. So that means really I'm technically $100 to the good, but on my budget sheet it hasn't factored in. It doesn't look that way because I already put in the numbers in my expected column. I did not put them in my already paid unless I already paid it. So prayerfully, I will be able to say that I have a deposit of $500 coming tomorrow or Friday for a taekwondo camp, and that will pay for the $400 that the kids need, and then there'll be a few extra dollars in there to do something else. Alana would like to get her hair done, which of course I did not put any hair money in here this time, so she wants to get her hair done, and it usually costs about $30 to get her hair washed and pressed, and so that'll be $30 for her to get her hair done. And then I need to get these brows done, but again, it's not something that's a priority on my sheet. So that is the budget in a nutshell. It's very clear. I'll show you this so you can see. So remember, if you're just joining me, on this side right here is where I put all my categories, and I base these categories very rigorously against the Dave Ramsey zero-based budget plan. This is how he sets it up. It's how I've been doing it for the last 6 years, and it works for me. Then there's two categories or two columns that I generally use. One is the budgeted amount, how much I think things are going to cost me based on what they cost me last month. And then this is what I actually spent for that particular monthly budgeted item. Once you fill in the actual spent column, it'll tell you what the percentage of your take-home pay is that has been paid out to that particular expense. So right now, for charitable gifts, which should be between 10 and 15%, I am at 1.53% of the month because I've already paid my tithe, which is my 10%, in the past 10 months. So that is how that works. For my housing, I am a little bit off this month, and I don't know how. I'm off in the fact that I'm at 46.21%, and this usually is between 25 and 35%, so I'm 11% off, probably because I paid the extra, and I'm okay with paying the extra. And I probably need to put the lawn care in a different category. I don't know. That may need to go somewhere else, but for right now, I'm okay with that. My utilities between 5 and 10% are at 17%. And of course, I had that little adjustment on my electric bill this month. Groceries, I didn't even put in my actual amount over here, so I can't tell you the percentage of that, or my gas. But anyway, if you're using the budget, if you emailed and asked me for this budget sheet, it calculates for you the percentage amount, but that's after you put in the actual spent column. When you put in that amount, it will tell you how much you spent. But then also at the bottom, what you do have to do is down here, it will ask you for your income sources. Sorry about that glare. Your income sources, and you have to put those in order for anything to calculate for you the way that it should calculate, right? So here actually I'm $273 to the good, but I didn't put in my grocery money, so I didn't put the groceries in the actual column. So once I do that, it'll only be $73.99, still in the black. But again, remember, I'm in the red a little bit because I put in items that I have not received the money for yet. But that just helps me to stay focused. It helps me to stay on top of things. And I will say this, someone mentioned that they didn't realize it was going to be such a process with your budget. I work this budget all of the time. I mean, I'm constantly going back, and if I get a deposit in, I'm putting in deposits. Then I'm trying to figure out, okay, do I need to tithe off of that money? And if I do, how does that stack up to this? And then I put that in the right column, and I'm explaining it so it seems like it's a lot. It becomes second nature after you do it so much. So I suggest start small, and then again, I get paid once a month. So this is my once a month. It's everything at one time. Some people get paid bi-weekly, some people get paid weekly, and you may do this weekly and crunch up some of these categories. You may not pay your mortgage week 3 and you get paid week 3. So your budget may look a little different than mine. I would say do a budget for each paycheck you get and then run those together. But I just do everything at one time. And then that way I know. One of the things you could do if you wanted to, I always find this extremely helpful. This is an Excel spreadsheet, right? So everything above where it says 0 here, everything above 0 is a calculation if you calculate it. But underneath here are some extra cells. I just didn't print out any of those grid lines because I wasn't using them. But I'll type myself notes. I'll say, okay, Dad's sending money this day, or I'll just put myself in some notes that I need to keep me mindful of my budget. One of the things that I didn't put in here, but I put it in this particular binder, is my cash, because I go to the bank and I get cash. So my cash for this month was $325, and I needed cash for groceries was cash. I needed cash for the lawn guy, and I also needed cash for Gracie. So I have $200 for the groceries, $50 for the lawn guy, and $75 for Gracie. Now, because I'm a little bit in the red, I didn't put gas in my car yet this month. What I did was I took $15 out of Gracie's money, the money I have for Gracie. So I took $15 away from there, which leaves me $60, because I actually bought her an extra bag of food last month. So we're good for about the first 20 days of the month with food for her. We only feed her twice a day. She does get organic dog food, but we're okay with that. And at our place where we purchase, after you buy 10 bags of food, you get the 11th bag free. So we bought a couple bags. We working on our free bag soon. but I needed some gas in my car. So I put $10 worth of gas in my car, and then I needed some baskets for an organization project that I'm doing. So I took $5 and I went to the Dollar Tree, and I pulled that money out of the Gracie folder or envelope. I try to normally just keep everything in its own place, but I didn't want to take a chance to run my debit card and not have all the monies in there that I needed. I do not like insufficient funds on my banking, nothing. And I would say probably in the last 3 years, I have not had any of those. And if I had any previous to that, within the last 6 years, it was just bad math on my part that I did not account for something that didn't, I didn't do my ledger right. So for some reason, so I try to keep my ledger accurate, but for some reason I must have, made a bad number or something, flipped it and got off. But in my bank, they take your main savings account and they'll pull money out of there if you overdraft some kind of way. But I get very anxious about overdrafts. So I do this very religiously. I sit and I ponder and I think and I reason, and I'm like, okay, where can I? No, we're not getting our hair done this week. We're just going to do a little kit from the store, or we're going to wash it and braid it up and not worry. My student loan, I didn't mention this, is $52.29 is my actual payment. So I actually paid a little bit more into the student loan because I paid $60 onto that this month. So I paid a little bit more, and I'm just trying to get that student loan paid off. I just want to be done with it. I'm getting there. I still have little ways to go, about $8,000 and some dollars, but I'm getting there. I'm determined by the end of this year that number is going to be $7,000 or less. I do have a couple of bills that came in from my MRI. I just got one this morning for $789. And so what I'm going to do is go ahead and file that with my supplemental insurance, because they will give you a $500 payout for a tier 2 procedure, which an MRI counts. So that's going to chunk away 500 of those dollars. Well, actually chunk away 450, because I will tithe off that money. Yes, I will. So it'll take 450 away, and then what I'll do then is I'll just call and make a payment arrangement to pay like $50 a month until I get it paid off. I'm just going to set 50, but I'll try to go ahead and get that chunked off as I can. So it's side hustle season. It's time to get that eBay going. It's time to, do a couple of presentations or whatever. I did turn in my reimbursements for travel. So I will get my meals back. So that was $234 that I just turned in for this morning, because school was closed yesterday. So I went this morning and turned in my form. So $234 for that. I'm doing 2 presentations at the workshop that I'm going to the end of this month, where I actually be working, but I'm doing 2 presentations outside of that. So that's $50 a presentation. So that'll be $100 that I'll invoice for and get paid $100 for doing those 2 presentations. And then this is the first month that they are the first year that they're doing this, since I've been working with this system, and I worked in another system before, where they're doing something called Teacher Academy, and they're going to give us 5 days to come in and do staff development and planning. Normally we have staff development at the beginning of every year. That's just how it is. But that really eats into us getting in our classrooms and getting our rooms together, and making sure we're ready for school, because we're at staff development. So they're giving us a full week of staff development that we could volunteer to go to. We don't have to go. We volunteered to go, and they're going to pay us our daily wage for that, for each day for 5 days. So I'm going to have the potential to earn $1,000 for 1 week of working in August. But of course I won't get that until after the week in August. So I still have some income sources coming in. It's just going to be latter half. And then when I go to the workshop, they will pay me travel miles to go to the workshop and travel miles back. And then they'll also reimburse my meals if I do meals. And then for that week. So there are some income sources, but they will come in at the end of the month, 1st of August. So I am not concerned. I'm not worried. I'm just going to trust the Lord that He's going to send. Dad has been on point these last couple months, making sure that the kids have what they needed. And so I've been very appreciative of that. And I'm going to just continue to trust and believe that He's going to do what He said. Again, we spoke this past week, and He said he was on target. And so I'm thankful that the kids have their separate income source as well, to get the things they need. They're going to Disney World this year. They're excited. Anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about that in my Let's Chat video. But this is my budget. Let me get my cash out, because I do want to stuff my envelopes. I did go to the bank this morning and got my cash out. And y'all, I'm getting a chance to use my new envelopes. And where did I get these from? Mama needs a clone. So if you shop on Etsy or you're looking for some envelopes, Mama Needs a Clone is where I got these from. This one has little eyelashes on it. Y'all know you got to do the shoot situation. And then this one has, this is all about the makeup. I love these. These are so pretty. Look at all the lipsticks. Very, very pretty. Girly, just like me. And so on each envelope, I have not allocated them yet, but I'm going to take a Sharpie marker and I'm just going to put on them what they are for. And yeah, I'm going to write that onto each of the envelopes, and I'm going to do it on the back in a Sharpie, and this will come off if I just use a magic erase. So this is going to be for my lawn guy, because I only had 3 categories this time that I'm doing cash for. This is for Gracie, and I'm actually going to be trying a new place to give her a bath, and they gave me a coupon for $10 off. And then this is going to be for groceries. Oh, I have to do this. I need a couple more of these because I do my groceries per week. So groceries week 1, groceries week 2, groceries week 3, and then groceries week 4. And I am doing this in Sharpie. And again, if I want to get it off, I'll just use a magic erase. And so I just did this on the back of these, and so you're able to see them this way. 3, and this groceries 4, and then of course here's what my envelopes look like there. And then I have for the long guy and for Grace, right? So there we go. So I got out $325 this morning of cash, and I asked for specific denominations at my bank. They were fine with giving it to me, no problem. So for each week of groceries, I'm going to have $50. So I'm going to go ahead and count out. That's 2 20s and 2 5s. That's groceries week 1, 2 20s and a 10. Groceries week 2, 2 20s and a 10. Groceries week 3, and then 2 20s and a 10 for groceries week 4. For my lawn guy, I've got 25 for 1 week, and then 25 for another week. And then for little Miss Grace, I've got $60. I'm at least going to get her a bath and get her nails trimmed. And I'm just going to shove in my envelope. So here's Gracie's envelope. Mama Needs a Clone does do these with holes. If you have the Recollections planner, she will do these with holes or without them. I did not have a Recollections planner when I got these, and one of my sweet subscribers actually blessed me with these, and I was excited. I was not expecting them. I didn't ask for them. She just chose to bless me. And then I had another sweet subscriber that sent me this Recollections planner in the mail. Isn't it pretty? And I felt really bad about not getting the holes, but I didn't have this prior. So what you do is she will send you the envelopes with the holes, and then you can stick them in here and they'll work like in this binder system. But for now, I'm just going to slip them underneath here or just put them in my purse. So that's for Grace. And then for my lawn guy, I've got 2 weeks worth of lawn money. He said he was coming today, so I know I'll have to give him money today. Okay. And then for my groceries, I'm going to go ahead and put week 1 in my wallet. Which, of course, you know, guys, I keep my wallet here. And I have these little tab things that I made. And I've had these for, gosh, well over a year now. And so that is going to be groceries week 1. I'll just stick that in my wallet. We don't have a Sunday social coming up this week, but we have Park Sunday, so I'll have to get something for Park Sunday. So there's money in there for that. Groceries week 2. I'm going to take my $50. Put that in here. Groceries week 3, I'm going to go ahead and take my $50. And then groceries week 4, and I'll go ahead and put that $50 in. They are so new. I've not used these yet, so I'm trying to break them in. They are so new. I love them. I love them. I'll leave her information in the description box below with the links to her Etsy shop if you want to get something from her. But here are all my envelopes for the month. So far, this is all I have. I'm thankful to have this because there have been months when we didn't have any of this. So anyway, that's my budget. Those are my cash envelopes for the month. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. I know this video was really long and I do apologize for that, but I want to be thorough on that budget, and I want you to know that you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I was a single mom. I still am a single mom who didn't know how I was going to feed my kids, and God has so given me a mind to understand how Dave Ramsey's plan works. And now I'm getting to a point now where I don't want to just talk about the plan. I want to work the plan. It's been 6 years. I want to get out of this debt. So I'm putting things into place now that I'm going to pay off my one and only debt, which is my student loan. And I'm going to be done, because then my kids and I'll be able to go on vacations and we can do that stuff now. But I want to be able to not have my money controlling me. I want to control my money. So anyway, that's our budget for the month. We're so thankful to have you stop by our channel. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. It just says, hey, we liked your video. If you're new around here, hit the red subscribe button. We love to keep you as a part of our YouTube community. We do love you. We honor you for coming and sitting with us, stopping by our kitchen or stopping by one of our bedrooms or whatever we're doing. You know, you can spend time with anybody you choose, and you choose to spend it with us. We're honored about that. We hope you feel that way. We hope you never feel taken for granted. And if you do, let us know. We won't do it anymore. We do want to tell you that we love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's just who we are. You don't have to love us back. It's okay. It's okay. But anyway, until we budget again, thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you next time. Bye.